Good morning, everyone. Today we'll be doing another, oh my goodness, Double Masters draft. So, Bloodspore Thrinax is a lizard that says Devour 1, and each creature you control enters the battlefield with additional X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on the Thrinax. Alright, so that seems pretty sweet. It involves, like, eating things to get 1/1 counters and then making everything else that much bigger. Fulminator Mage I don't think is very good in Limited, and considering this is a Phantom Draft, I'm not going to take it. For my second pick, I think I'm either going to take Death Reap Ritual or Kozilek's Predator. And honestly, at this point, I'm kind of thinking Kozilek's Predator. It's good if we play it before Bloodspore, and it's good if we play it after. So, this is good. Some notion to be like, oh, I could take Defiant Salvager or something like that, but we'll start with these two. Alright, pack 2. No green cards. We do have a Silumgar Scavenger, which is also sort of in the aristocrat-y green-black deck, so I'm kind of willing to take that right now. Vengevine. Alright, Vengevine just seems like good value for a creature. We can sack it. If we play 2 creatures, we get it back. It's just like free damage that can swing in with Reckless Abandon. Morkrat Banshee I would definitely take because this is a removal on a body, but I think I'm going to take Vengevine for the reasons stated. Not to mention, like, if we have Thrinax out, Vengevine gets bigger whenever it comes back, and it's just a good time for us. I don't know what is up with my green screen in my background right now. It's like if I lean over here... Oh, okay, it's not going to do it. Never mind. Okay. Pick 5. So there's a Deathhood Cobra, Sculpting Steel, which I think is probably better than I've been rating it. It was pointed out to me there's an infinite combo with this with Shroom. I didn't actually take the time to evaluate the combo, I just know that it combos with Shroom, apparently. There's a Deathhood Cobra, there's a Mirror Retriever. Mirror Retriever is like good to sacrifice. Can be good in the aristocrat style deck, I guess. I want to take Mirror Retriever. Deathhood Cobra is not bad, but stuff with death triggers seems good. Okay, Dread Return actually seems kind of sweet in this deck. If we're going to be sacking stuff to reanimate other things, like... Well, first off, if we're just reanimating things, it's probably good. And then if we're sacking stuff to reanimate other things, it'd be kind of sweet. Okay, this is not a Time Sieve deck. I will take Mirror Retriever, though. Mirror Retriever seems like fun. Whenever you have multiple Mirror Retrievers, you can usually do some kind of shenanigans. And for this deck, even just having a creature that you can sack over and over to buy back effectively a creature can be powerful. I don't think Skinwing is a card for this deck, but I don't think a Dread Return is either. I think I'm going to take a Puzzle Knot. We're in black, drawing extra cards will be good. If we get any Bloodbriars, it helps turn on Bloodbriar by itself. Ancient Stirrings, or Costly Plunder. I think this is definitely a deck where we would play Costly Plunder. This is a deck where we could play Wound Reflection. I'm not sure. You know what? I'll give Wound Reflection a chance. I don't think this card's very good, but I did die to it once, so we'll see how good this is. I guess I can take Fulminator Mage. If we run up against Tron, Fulminator Mage could be good. Vampire Hex Mage might be better, but we'll see. Welding Jar, I guess. Probably go onto the sideboard. Don't think we're playing anything else in that pack. Iron Bully, maybe. We're not playing Surge Node. Sylvan Might is playable. I guess Restoration into the sideboard. And we'll see what our force is. It's a Surge Node that we're not playing. Alright. Second pack. Maybe we are playing Surge Node, because I'm definitely taking Lux Cannon. Lux Cannon is just every 3 turns you get, or every 4th turn you get to Vindicate, which is pretty good and limited. It's just, it's like unbeaten value. And then I'm going to take Reclamation Sage because of the high prevalence of artifacts and enchantments in this format. Just having a dude that kills one of those when it enters is great. So, Lux Cannon, Rec Sage, let's go. Alright, there's a Glimmer Void. I think I take Core Tapper. Core Tapper is insane with Lux Cannon. Also, if we get an Everflowing Chalice, we can get, like, play our bigger drops, basically. Yeah, I'll take Core Tapper. We'll just be like Golgari mid-range with Vindicate every turn combo. Okay, Twilight Mire is good fixing for us. The filter lands tend to go late in the Phantom League version. We don't have a ton of tokens for Woodland Champion. I think this is a Conclave Naturalists is the pick here. The effect is super strong. It's on a big body. Ouch. Just kicked myself in the knee and it popped. Chord of Calling, Sundering Titan, and Selesnya Guildmage. I think Chord of Calling is probably the way to go. We have a lot of creatures, we have some token producers. I would not mind a Selesnya Guildmage if it wheeled, but I doubt it will. Instant speeding an uninspected creature off of Chord, though, is quite strong. We could take Vexing Shusher, but I'm not really worried about anything I'm playing getting countered, like ever. Penthead Prism is another way to abuse charge counters. We are 2 colors, it fixes colors, and it ramps really hard. I'm actually really heavily considering Penthead Prism. Eager Construct, or like one of the other artifact creatures in this pack would be okay, and so would Costly Plunder. But I'm going to try Penthead Prism. Mesmeric Orb. I don't like it as much in this deck, but Mesmeric Orb is a good card. Way to get Langevine into the grave, but I guess we have Mirror Retrievers. But we have no way to stop it from milling. It's not like we're in the Academy Ruins deck. We could take Might of the Masses, or Twisted Abomination, or Peace Strider, question mark. I'm going to take Twisted Abomination. I think the Swamp Cycling might be relevant at some point, and just having a big regenerating threat could be good. Skull Mulcher. Enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature it devoured. Or another Silumgar Scavenger. I think I want another Silumgar Scavenger, actually. Okay, never mind. I should have taken it out of this pack, but, you know, there was no way for me to know. Mana Echoes. Mana Echoes is good with things like Kozilek's Predator, but I don't think this is a deck for Mana Echoes. We could take a Surge Node and just play Lux Cannon Surge Node. I'll take another Silumgar Scavenger. Quit being silly for a minute. I think this is a Driver of the Dead deck. Not playing Glimmervoid. Will play Costly Plunder, because we want at least one in this deck, I've got a feeling. Supernatural Stamina, Ancient Stirrings, or Crop Rotation. We'll do Supernatural Stamina. That's good in a deck that's like sacrificey. Vidalcan Infuser to the sideboard. Might of the Masses is technically playable in this deck. Yep. Okay. Next pack, what are we dealing with here? Okay, I don't think Fetid Heath is a card for us. Chatter the Squirrel might be, which is a little weird. But there's also Throne of Geth, which we can use to sack Mirror Retrievers to proliferate. And we do have some number of 1/1 counters, and we have a Lux Cannon. That's actually kind of sweet. I might just take Throne of Geth Chromatic Star. Chromatic Star is good filtering. It's good to buy back off of a Mirror Retriever randomly. Like, let's do that. Maelstrom Pulse. By far and wide, I think is the best card in this pack for us. There's also Drown in Sorrow, but Maelstrom Pulse just kills everything that could ever be a threat. A Ravenous Trap, Manamorphose. Rixmathes is a little out of our color combination here. We could splash it off of a Chromatic Star. Do we have anything else? We have a Penthead Prism. Maybe a Rixmathes is actually, like, somewhat playable in this deck. We do have some kind of, like, big... Oh, we could also Chord it. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Okay. Kind of a weird mid-range deck at the moment. We could take Sphinx of the Guild Pact. That is some top end. Could also take another Dread Return, or Costly Plunder, or just a Darksteel Axe even. Yeah, Darksteel Axe seems kind of good. Right? Flooded Grove does technically let us splash for Rixmathes, even better than we already can. But Skiersdag High Priest is a personal favorite card of Standard of mine, and my former roommate and best friend. Former roommate, still best friend. So I'm going to take Skiersdag High Priest, because this is a great morbid trigger output. There's a Goblin Guide. Bloodbriar. We wouldn't mind a Bloodbriar. It's kind of what we were setting up to do this whole deck for anyway. We have first one we've gotten. It's like last few picks of the game. I'll take a Crushing Vines. I'm probably going to main deck this. Seeing how good it was when other people were main decking it, we should probably be main decking it. Crop Rotation, Open the Vaults, Gleaming Barriers, Sylvan Might. Crop Rotation, probably the most playable. Yeah. Treasure Maids gets nothing. So I think this is Hex Mage time. Heartless Pillage. We have a bunch of 2-drops that can attack with impunity, so Heartless Pillage it is. Manamorphose lets us splash for Erixmathes, it's a cantrip. Otherwise, we can take Ravenous Trap if we somehow come up against someone using their graveyard in a nasty way, I guess. Probably don't have the room to play a Manamorphose, even though it's good. Maybe I should have taken it to help fix for, like, Hexmage or something, but I don't know if I'm main decking Hexmage or not. Yeah, we'll take a Peace Strider. I guess we take a Toll Collector. And a Surge Node. Maybe I should be playing Surge Nodes. I mean, they're basically only good with Lux Cannon, but... Okay. Probably not playing Might of the Masses at all. Not starting with Crop Rotation, but we'll see what happens. We need a larger number of creatures than anything else at the moment, which means I need to cut a lot of non-creatures. Wound Reflection just seems kind of like a stretch. Probably don't need pump spells in this deck. Are we reanimating anything good with Dread Return? Maybe. Okay. I don't actually think I need a Darksteel Axe. Even though it's good in sort of an aggressive deck, I don't want to take turns off to play equipment when we're not cheating on equipment cost with like pure steel or getting insane value out of it. Puzzle Knot, Penthead Prism, and Chromatic Star help make Costly Plunder better than it normally would be. I think I'm going to cut Dread Return. We don't have that many like recursive creatures or anything. Like Mirror Retrievers are great, but I don't think that's going to work out for us. I'm going to cut Twisted Abomination, and we're probably not main decking Fulminator. It's a 3-mana 2/2, says the man looking directly at a 3-mana 1/1. But it has Menace, so it's fine. I need to cut 4 cards still. Probably at least one needs to be a non-creature spell. My worst non-creature spell of all of these is probably Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot. Also, we need to know not to proliferate counters on our Erixmathes. That would be bad. Never underestimate my stupidity. Okay, Supernatural Stamina, while good for like a combo situation, probably not where we need to be in the general sense. Maybe we go down 1 Silumgar Scavenger, and then we cut... maybe Heartless Pillage. I don't know, Heartless Pillage seems pretty good, actually. Yeah, I'm going to cut Heartless Pillage. Okay, let's see what this deck looks like. So we are splashing Erixmathes off of Courting for it, Penthead Prism, or Chromatic Star. I feel like that's doable. We could play Crop Rotation and an Island, but I don't think we need to. We'll try it like this. See you guys round 1. Round 1, here we go. I see Core Tapper, Throne of Geth, and Lux Cannon, and I'm in love, so we're keeping this. Okay, opponent starts Plains. Chromatic Star. We draw a Costly Plunder and start with a Swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Volshock Gauntlets. We draw a Green Source. So, play Green Source, play Skier's Dag. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Iron Bully. Pumps it up. We untap. Draw Crushing Vines. I got a feeling that's going to be useful. We're going to play out a Core Tapper and pass. If we draw land and can play a Lux Cannon, we're in a good spot. I'm trying to think of what White's artifact removal spell is. There's Topple the Statue, but I don't think there's like a Fragmentize or anything of that nature. Disenchant might be in the pool, but probably not. I think I would have seen it in a draft and remembered it. So I think it's just Topple the Statue that we have to play around as far as artifact destruction goes from our opponent. Because black doesn't get artifact destruction unless you're talking about... oh, they have Revoke Existence. And get rid of Core Tapper permanently. And get in for 2. We can't block, it has Menace. Alright, we draw Erixmathes. So we're going to play Bloodbriar. And get in for 1. Okay, opponent equips. Does not attack. Alright, well if they spend 2 turns equipping, we'll just Crushing Vines it. Could play Lux Cannon this turn, but I think it can wait a turn. Opponent is going to Path Skier's Dag High Priest. Sure. We'll get a Forest. I'm gonna take 6. Okay. So we kill the Iron Bully. This Fencing Ace is going to be a problem, but it's not like it has Trample. So play a Swamp. Play a Lux Cannon. Charge counter on Lux Cannon. Play Throne of Geth. Worst case scenario, Throne of Geth can just sacrifice itself. And then that's how we're going to deal with that Fencing Ace. But you're seeing right now why I don't like Volshock Gauntlets. It is a huge buff, but the not being able to untap is a huge downside, and the equip cost is huge. Like, had my opponent equipped the Volshock Gauntlets and just had like a 10-2 or whatever, or 10-6 Iron Bully, and gotten blown out by a Crushing Vines, this Crushing Vines would have been a time stretch. I would have just gotten 2 free turns from that, and my opponent would have drawn 2 cards. Right now, we're kind of hoping to draw an artifact to play that we can just sacrifice to Throne of Geth. Opponent plays a Golem Artisan. I imagine that needs to die quickly. Hey! What do you know? Way to do that. So, charge up Lux Cannon. And then we're going to go ahead... We could Maelstrom Pulse the Volshock Gauntlets, actually. Because that makes Fencing Ace eternally irrelevant, and while this can be pumped to like 6, we'll be killing it with Lux Cannon next turn. Yeah, we'll just do that. I didn't think the text on Maelstrom Pulse would ever be relevant. Oh, it says wow. Okay, when it goes to combat, they can pump it twice, and we can pump this twice, which means we lose. Well, we could technically pump this 3 times, but I'm not going to sack a Lux Cannon to a costly plunder, so we'll just take the damage. I don't think red has a double strike trick. Or I mean, white. I know red does. I was trying to say both of those things at the same time. So, what plays a Glaze Fiend. 1 card in hand. Okay. Sacrifice Throne of Geth to its own ability? Yes. Proliferate both of these things. Untap. Draw Driver of the Dead. Play Driver of the Dead. We untap, we guaranteed take 2 damage. If our opponent plays like a 1-mana artifact, we guaranteed take 4 damage. Alright, we're just gonna do this now. Which probably means I should have attacked with Bloodbriar, but whatever. Okay, opponent plays Bauble. So we would have guaranteed take 4 damage. Okay, they look at the top card of our deck. Alright. Opponent goes to combat, gets in for 2. We take 2, and we untap. They draw a card. We draw Conclave Naturalists, which is pretty good here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attack for a bunch. Okay, no blocks for our opponent. Play Naturalists, destroy Glaze Fiend. There goes all of my opponent's evasive damage. They play a Swamp. They play a Duplicant. Wow, if I had 1 more mana, we could absolutely blow them out. That makes it a 2/3. We draw a Forest. Charge up Lux Cannon. Play a Forest. Okay, go to combat. We're just going to wait. We're going to wait until we're in a position that we absolutely cannot lose. Which is just activating Lux Cannon again, basically. Kind of want to sack Driver of the Dead, but at the same time, I don't. Alright. Charge Lux Cannon. Pass the turn. I think I will at this end step. Opponent's drawing land as well. Ooh, Mere Retriever. That's a lot of fun. So, play Mere Retriever. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Hidden Stockpile. Okay, they're gonna go Scry. They leave it on top. They play a land. We're gonna destroy Hidden Stockpile and prevent them from getting a token. Opponent concedes. Yeah, Lux Cannon's pretty good. Okay. How do we want to adjust? Maybe Erixmathes is a little ambitious in this deck. We could bring in Dread Return, Peace Strider, another Silumgar Scavenger, Puzzle Knot. I actually kind of like Puzzle Knot. Let's try it like this. Alright. When it chooses to play first, we'll keep. When it has a Blink Moth Nexus. Draw a Hex Mage. So, play Chromatic Star. Pass the turn. When it plays a Swamp into a Glaze Fiend. Draw Crushing Vines. So play a Swamp. Crack for black. Draw a card. Core Tapper. Play Hex Mage. Pass the turn. Really glad this is in my main deck. Okay. Opponent plays a Bauble. Pumps Glaze Fiend. Cracks Bauble, looks at the top card of our deck. And plays an Iron Bully. Okay. Pumps Iron Bully a lot. Well, I'm not going to sack Hex Mage to remove a 1/1 counter. Okay, opponent draws a card. We draw Skiersdag High Priest that our opponent saw. So we could play High Priest. Opponent is going to get in for at least one. I think we just hold up Crushing Vines. Yeah. Because on 4 mana we have a lot of good plays. I probably should have attacked there. This is our best play on 3 mana. And on 4 mana we have a combination, like an option of a combination of Skiersdag, High Priest, Core Tapper, Mirror Retriever, or Vengevine. Okay, opponent plays Chromatic Star. Cracks for white. Animates Blink Moth. Goes to combat. I would love to Crushing Vines Blink Moth, but I think we kill the thing that does the most damage. Like, Glaze Fiend also enables like some weird combo kills and things. Alright, we draw a Forest. We can play a Vengevine, get in for big damage. It also makes a great target for Silumgar Scavenger. Let's do it. Opponent Council's Judgment votes for Vengevine, so we do too. Animates Blink Moth, gets in for 2. Take 2 and go to 11. We untap and we draw Throne of Geth. How do we do this? We play Skiersdag High Priest and Mirror Retriever. Do we get in? No. No, we don't get in. Vampire Hexmage can help block down an Iron Bully. And next turn, if we draw a land for Silumgar Scavenger, we can turn on Skiersdag High Priest. Or actually, we can do that anyway if we play Core Tapper and sack Mirror Retriever to Throne of Geth. So opponent plays a Duplicant. They're going to exile Skiersdag and make a 1/2. You got it. Our opponent attacks, they just lose to first strike. Yeah, kind of like this. Okay. We untap. Opponent says clearly not paying attention, sorry. Alright, so we attack for 2. Then we're going to play Driver of the Dead. Pass the turn. I'm going to turn off auto yields because there is a chance we could need to sack Vampire Hexmage. Alright, they play Glaze Fiend and Sanctum Gargoyle, picking up Iron Bully, I guess. They could pick up Bauble. They pick up Iron Bully. Okay. We untap, draw Naturalists, which we are very close to casting. Okay, now we have options. We can play Core Tapper, Throne of Geth. We could play Throne of Geth, sack Mirror Retriever at some point, get back Chromatic Star. Nothing to proliferate if we do that, but Chromatic Star does cantrip and potentially let us find a land. And then we could play Core Tapper. I feel like that's probably our best bet. Then we can attack with Driver of the Dead. If our opponent blocks, we get back Mirror Retriever. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Okay, play Throne of Geth. Because, like, next turn following it up with Naturalists or Silumgar Scavenger is pretty good. Okay. We have nothing to proliferate. Play Chromatic Star. Back for green. Land? Land. Play Court Tapper. Pass the turn. Oh, I should have attacked. That was my plan. Sorry. Okay, opponent plays an Iron Bully. Pumps Glaze Fiend a lot. Puts counter on Glaze Fiend to distribute their threats. Okay, come on, Lux Cannon. Opponent animates Blink Moth. Goes to combat, attacks for a lot. We cannot block. And they play a Fencing Ace. We untap. We draw Bloodbriar. Bloodbriar, not particularly useful here. I think we play Conclave Naturalists and hit Sanctum Gargoyle. If we need to, we could sack Hexmage to take the counter off Glaze Fiend and only take one next turn. Or we can play Silumgar Scavenger now, sacking Driver of the Dead, getting back Mirror Retriever. I guess we attack with Driver of the Dead first. I really feel bad about not attacking with it the last turn. Yeah, especially if my opponent wasn't going to block. Okay. Play Silumgar Scavenger. Exploit. Sack Driver of the Dead. Pick up Mirror Retriever. Counter on Scavenger. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Ancestral Blade. Pumps Glaze Fiend. That's a token. Animates Blink Moth. I think they have to equip Glaze Fiend. Yeah, no, if they'd equipped Glaze Fiend, they would have killed our guy. Well, I guess we're probably dead anyway. So hang on. We can block and shrink this by 1. What's the best that we can do? First strike kills that. Throw this under the bus. Is there any way I can get around this? Block here. Shrink that. Block here, because I could only prevent 2 damage. We can either double block or single block. So yeah, I think my opponent's got us. So we can make this 5. This flies. Yeah. Alright. Cool, opponent's got us. Game 3. What adjustments do we want to make? I don't think I'm bringing in Fulminator to kill Blink Moth. So, no adjustments. We'll play first. Yeah, we'll keep. Start Forest, pass the turn. Costly Plunder provides an immediate use for Penthead Prism. So we play Penthead Prism with 2 charge counters, and if my opponent has removal for Penthead Prism, we just get all of the value immediately back. Next turn we can play Avenge Vine, which is just a big hasty attacker. If my opponent does not have Council's Judgment, then they're going to have a tough time answering it, and we're going to get a lot of value immediately back out of it. Okay, so opponent starts Glaze Fiend and has 6 cards in hand, so we do have to kind of worry a little bit here. We do draw land, so we can just play Avenge Vine, which is pretty nice. Go to combat, attack for 4. Okay. Opponent untaps, plays a Plains. If they play Council's Judgment this turn, they're not, like, combo killing us with Glaze Fiend. Alright, they play Mishra's Bauble. They sack Mishra's Bauble to draw a card, not to Hidden Stockpile, but Hidden Stockpile will give them a 1/1. And they look at the top card of our deck. Okay, opponent gets in for 2, we go to 18. Opponent gets a 1/1. Sure. So we untap, they draw a card, and they're going to Path Vengevine. We could Chord for 2. I don't think there's a card in our deck that's a 2-mana sack outlet for a creature. Unfortunately, I think we Costly Plunder, though, because we definitely want this in our grave and not in the exile zone. So, Costly Plunder. Okay, Path fizzles, opponent draws, and then we draw. No land. Wow. Okay, we're gonna pass. We're not gonna play out Hexmage. Hexmage would only block 1 damage, and it would permanently take us off of a mana. We want to draw land so we can play Conclave Naturalists. That's what we want to do. Opponent's going to pick up Mishra's Bauble so that they can replay it, get another card, and do a lot of damage. Sure. They're going to hit us for 5 this turn. So we take 5, we go to 13. Get another servo. We untap, they draw a card, we draw Chromatic Star. Really wanted a mana. Okay, what can I do about this? You can play Bloodbriar. I think I have to. Hexmage would be fine, but I think it dies to more stuff. Not sure exactly which things, but I think it dies to slightly worse stuff. It dies to Fatal Push. That's the kill spell I'm playing around, is Fatal Push. It also dies to Disfigure if that exists, but so does Bloodbriar if they attack. Okay, yep, being able to kill this would have been really nice last turn, but such was a pipe dream. Opponent can get in for 9 in the air, and then they get in for 3 in the air next turn. Yeah, I think we're dead. Yeah, well, we do chump a 1/1. Opponent probably just sacks it to scry. Okay, so we take 10, we go to 3. I don't think we have any ways to gain life. Okay, opponent gets a servo. We untap, they draw. Draw Lux Cannon, and it's way too late. We have no way to deal with the Sanctum Gargoyle at all. I mean, I guess we can Chord and see if there's anything in our deck, but... we can get 2 mana back off of Core Tapper, but that just lets us play Hexmage, so we're done. Yeah, we should have absolutely beaten that opponent, and I probably made a play mistake in round 2, or in game 2, I feel. Which is slightly disappointing, but we'll do better in round 2. I've got a feeling. Alright, round 2, here we go. Alright, we'll play first. Tempting, but I don't think we can keep that. This is about the same as the other hand with slightly more upside. I think I'm going to get rid of Chord here. Start Swamp, pass the turn. A Forest lets us play Maelstrom Pulse. We have a lot of 2-drops in the deck, and a number of colorless ones that we could use for Costly Plunder. Opponent starts Forest. And we draw Throne of Geth. I'm not above Costly Plundering Throne. Pass the turn. Opponent's turn. They're playing Simic. And they have an Everflowing Chalice. So I'm trying to think of what cards that are Simic in this format we really need to be aware of. In the meantime, I'm going to Costly Plunder Throne of Geth. We're going to draw 2 cards, hopefully a land. It'd be really sad if there's no land. There's a land. Play a land. Pass the turn. So in Simic, the card that like I'm really scared of is Yavimaya's Embrace, which I shouldn't be scared of right now because that's 8 mana, but my opponent is ramping. There's always the fear that they have the Infinite Combo with Everflowing Chalice. Opponent does not play anything, so they could have a Metallic Rebuke. We draw a Swamp, so we're going to play a Swamp. And a Driver of the Dead. Pass the turn. Kind of feels bad when your first play that impacts the board is 4 mana 3/2. Just saying. Opponent thirsts, so they're very clearly heavy on the artifacts. But, I mean, what deck in this format isn't, right? I discard 2 lands. Okay. Opponent's holding a lot of action now, theoretically. They play a Swamp. They are 3 colors at least. Play Corridor Monitor. I am now in fear. That's 2/3 of the combo. They just have to charge this up to 7. Panic. We untap. We draw a green source. Thank goodness. So we could play Penthead Prism and then play Maelstrom Pulse. I think we just Maelstrom Pulse that, though. Pass the turn. Sword of Fire and Ice would be... like, we could block it a lot, but it would be pretty crippling. Okay. Opponent has an Ancient Stirrings. Getting a Forest. No attacks. We untap. Kind of hoping for a 2-drop. Alright, Erixmathes. So play a Penthead Prism. We're basically just using this as a Manamorphose here, but I think that's fine. Play Erixmathes. Erixmathes giving us kind of an inevitability of sorts. Really hoping to draw a 2-drop, actually. Because then we can sack Driver of the Dead and the 2-drop, and then get back Driver of the Dead, or get back the 2-drop with Driver of the Dead. The opponent thirsts for more knowledge. They are very thirsty. The opponent plays an island, still holding a forest, because they didn't discard it to thirst for knowledge. And they got it out of their hand after playing a forest last turn, so they didn't play it last turn. If my opponent passes, then playing the island was a mistake unless they have something they need to do with it. You should always be aware of what cards your opponent knows you have. Heartbeat of Spring. Alright, that's a lot of mana. Stuff's going to be happening here. Conclave Naturalists. Honestly, unless they have an Eldrazi in their hand, I would have hit Heartbeat of Spring. Because you never know, like, what kind of crap we could have. Like a Vengevine, just as an example. Alright, so... play Vengevine. Always yes, always yield. We could play Silumgar Scavenger, but I kind of want to attack, and then, if my opponent doesn't do anything, get it back. Attack for 4. Okay, opponent trades. Then we are going to, I guess, just play Silumgar Scavenger. Oh, shoot. You know, I forget how this works. In this case, playing the Thrynax is absolutely more important. Okay, yes. Thrynax. Sacrificing both of those. Then we can play this, take another counter off of Arixmethes. And we're not going to exploit, so there's no reason to. Alright, pass the turn. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to get two creature spells to cast in the same turn without some kind of draw spell. And if we had only had a 2-drop this game, we could have, like, really gone off there. This could be a Walking Ballista. I feel pretty bad. 11 mana. Could also just be an Eldrazi. 13 mana. This is Big Emrakul, or Small Emrakul, actually. Cord X8. That's not scary. Sundering Titan? It'd be Sundering Titan. I don't think Woodfall Primus is in this format. Terastodon. Well, any of the elephants they give us are 5/5s. They blow up 3 of their own lands. Sure. Okay, I want the Kozilek's Predator. That's what I want. Okay, Vampire Hexmage. We can use that to make Arixmethes a 12/12. This is a 4/3 first strike in the meantime. Attack for 4 that flies. Okay. Pass the turn. What our opponent does here is going to greatly influence what we do. Alright, they concede, so we do nothing. Alright, let's see. Do we make any adjustments at all? I don't think so. Man, I'm glad my opponent did not Terastodon any of my permanents and give me 5/5 elephants instead of 3/3 elephants. This hand is hot garbage. So we're gonna mulligan. This hand is about 3% better. We're on the draw though. I'm gonna put back Naturalists, I think. Kind of hoping to draw a 2-drop and then nothing but swamps for a long time. Opponent starts Forest, passes. We draw a Silumgar Scavenger, and we play a Forest. Opponent plays an Island. Draw a Swamp. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Swamp, passes. Draw a Forest, play a Forest. Play Iron Bully, counter on itself. Opponent plays a Forest. Henthead Prism. That's probably going to get pulsed. We could either get in for 6 or we can deny them 2 mana. I think we deny them 2 mana. So first we get in for 2. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent plays an Island. They play a Naturalists. Yep. Okay, we untap. We draw Henthead Prism. So play a Swamp. Play Vengevine. We're going to get in for 4. This should be okay, especially with a Henthead Prism. It should be relatively easy to get back our Vengevine by casting creatures, which is why I'm doing this. Even if we can't do it next turn, we might be able to do it the turn after. We will definitely do it the turn after if my opponent plays a Heartbeat of Spring this turn. Opponent does not block, so they're just going to take 4. That tells me that they could have Sword of Fire and Ice here, which would feel really bad. I mean, they would basically be using all of their mana and their whole turn for drawing a card and dealing 2 extra damage, and we might be able to follow up with something stronger depending on what we draw, but That's the only reason I can think that our opponent would not block. Unless this is like their only creature right now. Okay. Opponent untaps. Plays a forest. Cloud Reader Sphinx. Alright, opponent's gonna go scrying. It's really weird that they didn't attack. Or that they didn't. No, I guess they played it. That's Summoning Sickness, didn't it? Yeah. Okay. No attacks. Interesting. We draw. Crushing Vines. We're going to play Penthead Prism. And then we're going to pass turn. We could attack and Crushing Vines this now. I think it's better if we wait, though. So if we Crushing Vines, our opponent almost certainly trades. Which maybe we should do that, because then our opponent's trading with a creature that's going to recur itself, but we'll see what they play. If they play an Equip a Sword here, we can Crushing Vines to kill the creature, which takes them off of using the sword for a turn. Another Cloud Reader Sphinx. Okay. Opponent gets to go scrying again. One card on the bottom, one card on the top. They attack for 3, so we're going to go ahead and destroy that creature. We untap, and we draw a Lux Cannon. Go to combat. I am going to attack now. The chance we draw a cheap creature is pretty high. Okay, no blocks for our opponent. Play Lux Cannon and start charging. So opponent drew something they scribed at the top, which probably means it's pretty good. Okay, opponent attacks for 3. We take 3. We untap. Draw Forest. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Okay, opponent trades. Chord. Yep. X5. Hope they don't have another Naturalists. Why wouldn't they? Charge it in Defiance. Okay. Opponent trades. We are not going to cast anything here, because if we draw a land, we can get back Vengevine. Ah, that's a problem. Okay. They equip the Cloud Reader Sphinx. Makes it a large flying threat. So they're going to shoot us for 2 and then draw a card. My apologies for the loss of any audio quality, as the air conditioner just kicked on. Core Tapper, huh? That would have been great with Lux Cannon. So first, play Core Tapper. Then play Silumgar Scavenger. Reanimate Vengevine. We are going to exploit the Core Tapper. Okay, counter on Scavenger. Go to combat and attack for 7. Opponent trades, which means they probably don't have a way to kill us this turn. If they hold back to block, they definitely don't. Bloodspore Thrynax is a sack outlet for anything we could draw. Alright, we untap. We draw another Scavenger. We're going to play the Scavenger in case we need a blocker. I will not be exploiting, no. Okay, opponent thirsts for knowledge. They discard 2 islands. That's, oh gosh, double thirst for knowledge. That's super, super, super bad for us. Discarded 4 lands, so probably the last 4 cards in their hand now are not lands. Okay, opponent plays a Flooded Grove, which is good news. That means they didn't just draw all non-lands, they drew at least 1. But I mean, our opponent, between their draw step and thirst for knowledge, just went through the top 7 cards of their deck. Alright, Terastodon, probably blowing up Heartbeat. That's a pretty good combo there. Heartbeat is effectively an early harvest in this format. It just like doubles your mana for a turn when you have Terastodon to immediately kill it. Okay, opponent does not attack. We draw terribly. Is there any way we survive at all? Yes. Play a forest, pass the turn. We need to draw a creature, though. We basically need our opponent to just attack out, and then us to... Oh no, that doesn't work, does it? Hang on. Jump here, block here, take 11. We have to double chump. Alright. This is not what I expected my opponent to do. So we get a chump. Sword of Fire and Ice, we're going to take 2 extra damage. Opponent's going to draw a card. Opponent definitely had us dead there if they just attacked. But they did not do that. They could have attacked here and here and we would have just died. Okay, they re-equip the Sphinx. Corridor Monitor, they're going to untap Terastodon. Okay, we untap. We draw Mirror Retriever. So, play Mirror Retriever. Play Blood, play Bloodspore Thrinax. Use Vengevine's ability. Thrinax enters. We can sack a bunch of stuff, but we can't buy back anything that lets us get through this Sphinx. We can Mirror Retriever to pick up a Core Tapper. I think we died. Yep. And the only way we didn't is if our opponent somehow like F6s through blockers or something. So I guess we can give them the opportunity to screw that up. Yeah, pick up Core Tapper. Alright. They got us. Yeah, I don't think we need to make any adjustments. We'll just run it back. We'll play first. His hand is awful. Like, Lux Cannon's great, don't get me wrong, but... Alright, Core Tapper into Pentad Prism seems kind of fun. Well, we should be able to cast anything we draw forever. Alright, we'll keep this. We'll put back a Forest. Opponent also mulliganed. Fun fact with Pentad Prism, if you somehow increase the cost, and you can then pay more charge counters through more colors. I've had that actually be relevant in a game of Constructed where I was playing Ad Nauseam and my opponent played Thalia. I was able to put 3 charge counters on Pentad Prism, then use Slaughter Pact +1 mana from a land on their end step, and untap and have just enough mana to go off. It's pretty sweet. Okay, we'll start Forest. Pass the turn. So could be relevant in a corner case. Kano pro tip there for you. Okay, we draw a Swamp. Play Swamp. Play Core Tapper. Pass the turn. When it plays an island, we untap. Draw Silumgar Scavenger. So play a Forest. Play a Pentad Prism. 2 colors. Pass the turn. Not going to attack. Charge up Pentad Prism. We get a Mirror Retriever. We have up to 8 mana this turn. Sure. Actually, we have a lot more than that. Charge up Pentad Prism a lot. Play Mirror Retriever. Scavenger. They Thirst. Accomplished Automaton. Sack Mirror Retriever. Pick up Core Tapper. 1/1 counter on Scavenger. Replay Core Tapper. So Core Tapper gave us 3 mana this turn, and we used 2 mana to replay it, so we technically netted 1 charge counter. Okay, get in for 3. If our opponent plays a big artifact creature, we have Conclave Naturalists, which is pretty good. Would not mind drawing Lux Cannon at this point, because Lux Cannon Core Tapper is awesome. We draw a Forest. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Worst case, we can sack Core Tapper if we have to. Don't really need to be charging up more mana at the moment. Okay. I'm just going to play a Tempo 4/4. And opponent thirsts again. They discard Corridor Monitor. Now, by discarding artifacts when our opponent has historically been discarding lands, this tells me that they probably are pretty desperate for lands. We will not use the ability. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a Forest. Cloud Reader Sphinx. You got it. 1 card to the bottom, 1 card to the top. We untap. Draw Rexage. I think I'm going to keep a Rexage in my pocket, basically. Just going to charge up Pentad Prism, and then attack for 8. So now if my opponent plays like a sword or something, we can shrink the Sphinx. Heartbeat. Okay, we untap. We draw another Scavenger. So now I'm going to show you why Heartbeat usually sucks. Okay, Rexage Heartbeat. Opponent has a bunch of mana for something. Chord of Calling X3. Okay. Corridor Monitor. Alright, that does get them another blocker. We will use Rexage's ability. Super glad we have a Rexage, by the way. Super good pickup. Really good in this format. Okay. Now we exploit Rexage. Get 1/1 counters. Go to combat. And attack with everybody. Opponent has to block here and has to block here, losing both of their creatures. Okay. They gotta have something pretty good to get out of this. Yavimaya's Embrace would not do it, even if they could cast it. They have a sword. Sword is not gonna do it. Opponent concedes. Alright. Hey, we got there. Alright, I will see you all in round 3. Alright, round 3, here we go. Alright, we'll play first. Yeah, I can work with this. We'll keep. And if we can get Kozilek's Predator down, and then Silumgar Scavenger, and sack stuff for mana, and just do crazy things, this will be a great game. Opponent mulligans to 6. We start Forest. Pass the turn. No sense in starting Swamp to like play for Vampire Hexmage, because we can't draw Hexmage and another Swamp at the same time. Get a Rixmathes. Play Penthead Prism. So definitely playing a Rixmathes next turn, given the opportunity. As in, if our opponent does not destroy Penthead Prism. Okay. Draw a Chromatic Star. So blue, green, play Rixmathes. Pass the turn. Man, if this card was modern legal, Time Warps would love it. Okay, we untap, draw Silumgar's Scavenger. Play Kozilek's Predator. Yep. Okay. Get some 0/1s. Opponent's going to Swamp Cycle, Twisted Abomination. We get some 0/1s. Okay, opponent plays a Swamp into a Vampire Hexmage. Totally take the counters off of Rixmathes, I dare you. Okay, we draw a Swamp. So we're going to play a Swamp. We have 5 mana, 6/7 if we count the spawn. So let's go ahead and attack for 3. Okay, no blocks for our opponent. Play Chromatic Star. Always yes, always yield. Play Skiersdag High Priest. Okay, pass the turn. We can fire off a big Chord of Calling if we want to, though I'm not sure what we would get, because we kind of just top out at Silumgar Scavenger, and we already have our like big wide token producer. These Eldrazi spawn are going to basically get converted into 5/5 demons. Opponent has a Fatal Push. We cannot Chord because we only have 2 green at most, so down goes Skiersdag. Opponent has Hexmage Dark Depths, because of course they do. What can we do about this? Well, untap, draw a forest, play a forest. We are going to need a flyer. So doing it this way so we can Chord. Okay, we will not be exploiting. You can only Chord for 2. Okay. Opponent sacks Dark Depths, gets a massive Merit Lodge. Plays a Swamp. Goes to combat. Attacks and attacks. So we block here. Crack, changing blue to green. Not that that matters, just drawing a card here is going to be okay. Okay. And we Chord, making a Rixmathes a 12/12. And we're going to get a Core Tapper. Okay. If our opponent doesn't have any other creatures, we should be able to... Damn it. I say we should be able to kill them. So charge counter here. Opponent can get back Hexmage as well. That's really frustrating. We have to play Scavenger this turn. We can't attack with it either. We could technically play Hexmage and Scavenger, but we really need to attack because we're running out of flying blockers. Problem is we give our opponent another blocker if we do that. Play Scavenger. No exploit. Play Hexmage. Pass the turn. We can't destroy this, it's indestructible, so Crushing Vines is not an out. We don't have a way to bounce it, we don't have a way to exile it, and our opponent is making blockers. We can't make our opponent not block either. So unfortunately, because we don't have Skiersdag... Oh, sack Merit Lodge, I dare you. Merit Lodge or no balls. Sack Driver. They're reasonable. Come on, you don't want to draw 20 cards and gain 20 life? You should have attacked and then done that. Would have been a way more interesting game. Alright. Opponent attacks for 20, as expected. Chump. We untap, we draw. Conclave Naturalists. We can't gain any life, so we're just dead on the backswing. Yeah, alright. When my opponent played Hexmage, I was like, they might have Dark Depths. I was thinking that. And there is not a damn thing we can do about that. Not even the power of our awesome Uber Laser can do anything to touch that. I'm going to bring in Heartless Pillage and another Flyer, just in case. And we're going to go down Hexmage, because it doesn't do anything to our opponent's deck. Actually, no. I think I actually need the creatures just to be aggressive, which means I need to be taking out some non-creatures. Crushing Vine's still relevant. I'm going to take out Throne of Geth, and I think Iron Bully, actually. Okay, try it like this. Oh, Fulminator! Fulminator Mage! No! No, Fulminator Mage! I already clicked submit! Kano, you idiot! Alright, play first. Oh, maybe we get Lux Cannon online quick enough. We'll keep. Start Forest. Pass the turn. Pentad Prism would be a great top deck, so would Core Tapper. Going to start Swamp. Getting ready for that Hexmage play. We get a Crushing Vines. Play a Forest. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an Endless Atlas. I actually think that's Crushing Vineable, because if my opponent has another Swamp, they could be relying on drawing cards. Okay, they play an Island, and a Defiant Salvager. We draw Chord. So Chord can get us to Core Tapper. Then we can get the old Core Tapper Lux Cannon combo going. Okay, opponent plays a Dire Fleet Hoarder. Gets in for 2. We take 2. We get a Mere Retriever. Charge the cannon. I actually think we just play Bloodbriar. No reason to... oh gosh, my hair. I need a haircut so bad. No reason to play Vengevine just yet. If my opponent attacks with Dire Fleet Hoarder, I will not block it. I want to deny my opponent mana as much as possible. Play a Baleful Strix. Okay, opponent sacks to Defiant Salvager. Pushes Bloodbriar. Okay, we're going to get in for 5. We really, really need a land. That is not what I asked for. Play Vengevine. Charge the cannon. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Okay, opponent plays a land. They attack for 5. We go to 8. They rift the cannon. That jerk. Play a Forest. Play Retriever. Leave up Chord for... what's it called? Core Tapper. I can't believe my opponent has the Cyclonic Rift. Okay, opponent plays a Driver of the Dead. They go to combat. No attacks. Okay, let's go get Core Tapper. We untap. Draw Hexmage. Play Lux Cannon. Charge the cannon. We're going to go ahead and charge it all the way. Kill Defiant Salvager to remove a sack outlet and their options. Mere Retriever is almost certainly going to pick up Core Tapper. And then we're just going to start nuking their lands to try and keep them off of mana. Okay, opponent plays Disciple of Olus. Probably sacks Driver of the Dead. Yep, it's back. Baleful Strix. Gains a bunch of life, draws a bunch of cards. Plays a Swamp. And a Mishra's Bauble. Cracks it, looking at the top card of our deck. Okay, we untap. They draw. We draw a Forest. So we're going to play a forest, play Bloodspore Thrynax. We are going to sack both of our creatures. Okay, get back Core Tapper. Play Core Tapper. Back a big Vengevine. Opponent concedes. Wow. As we were going to start rapidly charging that cannon, I guess. Okay, Fulminator Mage in. Probably over Heartless Pillage, really. If our opponent plays Dark Depths early, we can at least mage it. I don't know if that's actually good or not, but it might happen if they get stuck and they're not doing anything for like a turn. And they're not going to expect a Fulminator Mage. Like, you don't play around rares in Limited unless you see them and you know to play around them. Or it's the only way you're going to lose if you're winning anyway. Okay. This hand is not great at all. It has a Lux Cannon, but that's it. And opponent starts with 7 cards in hand. We're going to mulligan. This is a bit better. We have to put back a Swamp or a Retriever, really. Maybe I put back Cord. Let's put back Cord. I'm gonna start Swamp. Draw Scavenger. Play Forest. How to play is an island. We untap. Play Mirror Retriever. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent pushes Mirror Retriever. That's fine. We have another one. And this is the configuration we would prefer them in, because if they die simultaneously, I think that's bad. No, because they can pick up other cards. Okay, opponent plays a Doomed Necromancer. Play Mirror Retriever. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a Forest. Does not attack. We untap. Play a Forest. No attacks. Really, really hoping my opponent does not have a Thirst for Knowledge here. Thirst for Knowledge into a big creature brought back with Doomed Necromancer would be quite awful for us. Okay, they swap cycle Twisted Abomination. This is almost as bad as the line I was talking about. It's still pretty bad. Opponent gets back a Twisted Abomination, which is a large, threatening creature. Opponent plays a Swamp. Okay, they play a Driver of the Dead. They go to combat and attack. Yeah, we'll chump. Get back Mirror Retriever. Play Mirror Retriever. Pass the turn. We need to draw something else we can play alongside of a Mirror Retriever. Opponent plays a Swamp. Attacks for 8. We block 5. Get back a Mirror Retriever. We untap. Draw a Forest. Play a Forest. Play Mirror Retriever. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest. Go to combat. Attacks for 8. Block 5. Pick up Mirror Retriever. So we're just looping this until next turn when we're going to play a Silumgar Scavenger, which we can block Driver of the Dead effectively with. Okay, play a Swamp, play Mirror Retriever, play Silumgar Scavenger. Now our Mirror Retriever loop is going to do some work. Opponent basically will not be able to attack without growing a bunch of Silumgar Scavengers, unless of course they have removal, in which case we're going to die very quickly. So we're going to take 8 this turn. Sad face. One draws a Defiant Salvager. Gets in for 8, we go to 6. Okay, so we untap, draw Core Tapper. I don't think that does anything, actually. Play Silumgar Scavenger. No exploit. Actually, Core Tapper does a lot here. I think. If we play Mirror Retriever, we lose both of our guys. If Core Tapper can target itself with its second ability, then it's better. Will not sacrifice a creature, no. I don't think it can target itself. If we play Mirror Retriever, though, we just lose both of our guys, and we'll end up taking 3. If we play Core Tapper and it can target itself with its sacrifice ability, then we're only going to take 3, and we get to keep around Silumgar Scavenger. Drawing a Lux Cannon will not save us, so Core Tapper, I think, is fine to play here. It just makes the Mirror Retriever loop harder, because of the more potential for misclick. Can target itself. Awesome. I'm glad I took the risk finding that out. Never mind, we're dead anyway. Oh, the opponent just had it. Sad face. I was having so much fun. Alright, well, this deck did a couple of sweet things. It just unfortunately it's kind of stumbly. Oh, we get to stay alive at 1. Hang on. We might draw something. Nope. This deck was kind of stumbly. It needed more early game. Something to be aware of, I guess. Alright, well, I don't have too much else to say about this deck, so if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, leave a like, drop a comment, I'll respond, and hope to see you guys in the next one. But subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. You can also follow me on Twitch, same username on Twitch as you find me on here. I stream on Twitch Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. You're all wonderful human beings, and thanks for watching. Bye!